Hello friends and family, and welcome to the 2023 Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship. Coverage brought to you by Ace Run Pro. This is a PDGA XA tier, and my name is Holly Finley.
And I am Raven Klein. We know you wanted more, so here is day 4. We are at the Winthrop Arena in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Another beautiful day. Excited to see how this final card plays through. We've had some very hot rounds on the course this year compared to previous years. And this chase card is really trying to make a push. First up, we have Holyn Handley. She is second in scramble rate. Next up, we have Misy Gannon, and she is second in fairway hits.
Then we have Eliezra Midtlyng, first in birdies at 46%. That's an impressive stat. Rounding out the card, Alexis Mandujano, fifth in C1X putting at 80%. Hole 1, a downhill par 3, 283 feet with 2 mandatories. The disc must pass between the 2 mandatories, preferably over this downed log, which will give you a look at a circle 1 putt. If you land the log, you're looking at about a 60-foot putt. You don't really have to worry about the out of bounds here, although the road on the left does play out of bounds. There is a lot of space to work with once you pass through the mando trees.
Card for the final round of the 2023 Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Championship. Teeing off first from Grapevine, Texas, please welcome Holyn Handley.
Holyn's shot is a little bit low, and she does get stuck behind the downed tree.
The 2021 Throw Pink Women's Disc Golf Champion from Beacon, New York, please welcome Misy Gannon.
Misy Gannon through the gap, barely over the top of the log, and she sneaks up there for a birdie putt.
The 2023 Junior World Champion from Oceanport, New Jersey, please welcome Eliezra Midtlyng.
Junior World Champion, I didn't know that.
Makes sense when you get to see her throw. She does pull it to the right side. She's going to go past the basket and have a C2 putt uphill for that birdie.
From San Antonio, Texas, please welcome Alexis Mandujano.
Alexis's shot is drifting a little right, and she hits that tree by the downed log. She'll have a 55-foot putt for birdie. First up, Holyn.
Gave it a nice high bid. Lands left of the basket and does roll away. Eliezra. A good bit uphill, but leaves it short.
Alexis just off the front of the cage.
It's Holyn for par. She makes good on it.
Misy Gannon in for the birdie.
Alexis will clean up a par, and Eliezra will as well. Hole 2, par 4, 542 feet. Off the tee, you're trying to use this ceiling and get as much distance up the middle of the fairway as you can. The OB on the left is the road, and on the right side we do have some OB that pulls away from the fence. Your second shot, you do have a mando tree here on the left, and you want to try and hyzer in toward the basket and keep yourself away from the fence. It has been pulled out from years past.
First up, Misy Gannon after birdieing the first hole. A nice turnover angle through the last set of trees. She's in a good position to attack for birdie.
Holyn with a little bit of a late turn, but it does hold straight and she gets some good distance up.
A little low out of the hand, but enough power and speed that she makes it past those last set of trees. Like the shot shape from Alexis. Everyone's in good position to attack for birdie. Alexis goes around the tree. She's up there for a putt.
Very smooth, straight shot. Another low release here from Eliezra, and she scoots up just behind the last large tree. Misy trying to push a hyzer, and she does go left of the tree, leaving herself with, what, just inside the circle? Line's hard to see.
Holyn trickles a bit of foliage on the way to the basket, but she is up there with a birdie putt.
Good bid from Eliezra, but she hits cage.
Alexis in for the birdie here on hole 2. A nice lofty putt from her.
Ooh. Good tempo on Misy's putt, but leaves it just a little bit low. Catches the top of the cage. Holyn in for the birdie on hole 2.
Midtlyng in for par, as well as Gannon. Welcome back. Hole 3, downhill par 5, 841 feet. The tee shot can go maximum distance pushing this tree line in the background, and if you get past this bubble here on the left, that's premium position. The second shot's going to go through this set of trees, preferably up past this set of trees, which will leave you with a short little chip shot into the guarded green. As long as you can get around this corner, at least to the opening, you've given yourself a birdie putt. Now those circles or bubbles in the fairway play as out of bounds, so you want to avoid those at all costs. Holyn up first after birdieing the second hole. She's safe off the tee. Good distance on the left side, lined up for the straight shot, which I prefer.
Yeah, much easier angle than if you were to turn over this drive and end up too far on the right side. This is looking like a great drive from Alexis. She also puts herself in good position for the second shot. Misy fading left. Another good tee shot from this chase card.
I'm looking at her shirt, I'm thinking, is she unsponsored?
Yeah.
Wow.
She is unsponsored. I don't think for long.
Exactly. No, that won't be through next season for sure. First up, Alexis, just trying to get through the trees, and if you land anywhere up there, it should give you a shot to attack for birdie. That looks good.
Yeah, this one can backfire if you try to get too aggressive and you're not close enough.
I think the big mistake is trying to bend around the mando tree. You don't need to do all that from back there.
Agreed.
You can throw straight. Exactly where Misy is also a prime position. I guess if you had some really nasty backhand roller and you're trying to get an eagle, maybe. But I'm not seeing the benefit of that.
No, and you can see even these players, even though the shot goes to the right, no one is opting for a forehand because it's just not necessary.
Beautiful shot shape from Midtlyng.
Way to give it the height.
Almost throwing in on the card in front of him.
See, where Misy is, I actually think is like the best position, unless you have the power that Midtlyng does. Misy does get caught up on the last branches before the gap.
Alexis forehand zone. She's up there with a birdie putt.
Holyn with a nice little standstill forehand chip. She does push it a little bit deep and is near the edge of the circle, possibly with a couple branches in her way.
See, that's like the most common error. You either get caught up in the corner or you just push it too long.
Definitely.
It's such a touchy upshot. First up, Misy. She has a putt, but it's not an easy one. From a knee, completely stretched out. This is not Misy's putting stroke. She doesn't do a Annie putt.
No.
She gave it a soft bid, but she'll be dropping in for par. Now she has a good spin. I'm curious if she's got some different angles to work with. Excellent.
She does. She almost didn't even need another angle. She was able to stretch out far enough that the putt stroke was similar to her normal one.
Super straddle.
She gets so excited, and I feel like we always see her running from one spot to the next.
Super hustle. I love it.
So Holyn did not have too many things in her way for the putt itself, which is nice.
She almost walked right into that branch.
So Holyn in for the birdie, Eliezra in for the birdie as well.
Alexis in for the birdie. Very solid hole 3.
And then Misy will tap in a par. Not a bad score to get on this hole.
2 birdies in a row for Holyn and Alexis.
Hole 4, par 3, 249 feet. We have a straight tunnel shot with 1 mandatory tree on the left. If you have something that you can push straight that 250 distance, show off, do it here. But there's no worry if you want to bail out to the left or right side. You can approach and then get your safe 3. You can also push pretty far out and hyzer out to the left and maybe have a circle 2 look at birdie. Holyn up first on the tee, lining up a forehand. Looks like she flipped something up a little bit, but very high and caught some of the branches, but she's still close to the center.
Alexis bleeding a little to the right side, but she's far enough up there to give herself a putt for birdie.
Eliezra does catch one of the trees on the left and kicks out into the open field. Ooh, Misy hit like 3 trees.
Yeah, 3 or 4 tree kicks for
plinko.
Misy. Also in the field on the left. She'll be scrambling for par.
Just a nice low touch forehand puts her outside the bullseye for par.
Alexis pitches up, playing for par as well.
Eliezra going with just what looked like kind of an aggressive layup. Chose to do the step putt or jump putt instead of throwing it.
Holyn gives it a long jumper off the front of the cage. Misy in for par.
Eliezra in for par.
Alexis in for par.
And Holyn to round out the star par.
Star par.
Fire up the barbecue.
All players currently sitting under par for the round.
Headed to hole 5.
Welcome to hole 5. Par 5, 794 feet off the tee, water on the left OB, road on the right OB. You can push max distance, but that's not necessary. Just keep it safe. The second shot, if you're going to play for birdie or eagle, needs to land somewhere short of that Mando pole. Or if you want to take the long way around, just throw it straight, maybe a little hyzer at the finish. That'll give you another touch finesse shot into this very small green, which will give you a look at the birdie. Holyn forehand. Angle looks good, avoiding the water completely. And she is well past the ditch.
Yeah, good distance.
Very good shot.
A lot of people use that ditch as a good marker if you can get past it. Alexis going with the backhand turnover, and she gets a little skip and gets past the ditch. You have to be
skip.
Very confident going with the backhand turnover. If you are not committed to your angle, you can just say goodbye to your frisbee.
Midtlyng with a bit of a hyzer flip, past the ditch and past Holyn.
Yeah, just going to have that little tree in her way. Misy also going with the backhand turnover. A little bit of a low release, but skips like Alexis's did. And all 4 players are past the creek, or the ditch.
Ditch was friendly today.
Yeah.
Alexis up first. She's looking for a placement shot landing close to the water's edge, putting her in a good position to go over, and that looks a little too close. Oh,
Dang.
And she's trickled OB.
I want to say, I really liked that.
That premium plastic is fast.
So slippy.
Slippery. Looks like Misy's going for a layup.
Yep, a little bit of a slower disc. This second shot can be so interesting because you really don't have to push it that far, and it almost feels funny on such a long hole to have your second shot be 200 feet. Holyn playing that very safe for the second shot, really not getting too close to the water, but she'll have plenty of distance if she wants to forehand over the water for the third shot. Doesn't love it. Oh, I was gonna say, is she about to be safe from that tree?
Skipped OB by the Mando pole.
Yeah, definitely forced. It looked like forced to throw more hyzer on that because of the tree in her way.
Mm-hmm. She probably could have went with a standstill mid and accomplished the job. Misy's third shot going across the water. She's going to need about 265 to be safe, and she is plenty safe.
She played her much straighter than you see some of the more aggressive plays go for.
Misy's looking at a 66-foot putt for birdie at the water. Next up, Alexis.
Oh
no! And she was safe, and then it trickled out of bounds. It almost looks
over
like
she
edge.
Hit something at the end too. It looked like it was gonna be safe.
She was able to get her disc back.
Oh, Holyn lining up the backhand here. She's going around.
You know, I saw Henna Blomroos also take the long way around when she can easily pump 500 feet.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling it or you're out of position, you know, this is what you do. And you could still get a birdie if you've got the distance.
You definitely can.
You don't need to go over the water to get a birdie.
Misy just helping out, making sure that Eliezra can mark her disc properly, taking her relief from the OB in line with the basket. I would say probably the most used rule that we have in disc golf that everyone is aware of.
She clips a leaf, but she's thrown it hard enough that it doesn't matter. She's safe in the field.
Holyn with a long approach here for the putt stance. Eliezra with the layup. Just trying to get close to the basket.
Misy has a chance for birdie. She gives it a bid, and luckily it curls up safe.
Alexis with her putt. Oh, just a little high. Catches the band. It was a good run. Trying to save an extra stroke there. It's always a bummer when your out of bounds discs are so close, that they're just right there, and you just have to look at them. Not that you want to shank something into the middle, but at least then you're like, well, it had no chance. Eliezra in for the bogey. Holyn was in for par.
Misy in for par. And with Alexis's 2 discs in the water, she was able to cap it off at a double bogey.
You can see the wind starting to pick up a little bit there. After that hole, only Holyn and Misy remain under par so far for the round.
I want to be known for winning a lot of tournaments. You know, hopefully I get to a point where I can be dominant in an era with so many people coming up in the game. So hard to stay consistent at the top. That's kind of my goal, is to set the new standard for this generation.
Welcome back. We have hole 6, par 3, 282 feet. You can see the basket here over in the sand. Our main goal, you can either throw something low, hope for the flare skip to land near the basket, or you can throw a higher spike hyzer so that you don't have to risk skipping into the water. Usually this will leave you with a longer putt, but the choice is yours. There is a drop zone from C2 if you were to go OB along the right side or into the water.
Holyn Handley up first with a higher shot above the canopy, getting around it, and she has landed just inside the sand.
Misy somewhere in between the higher spike and low skip. She does catch the branches of that last left tree, and she'll have a longer putt for birdie.
Midtlyng with a very high spike hyzer approach, but gets caught up in the canopy and drops short.
The spike hyzer is a good play if you can push that tree on the right side that's actually in the OB. Otherwise, you'll do what the last two players did, and you will get caught up in the tree.
Alexis with the low skip, landing a little short of the sand. She'll have a long birdie putt.
And Eliezra just chipping up into the sand.
Misy Gannon from 65.
Ooh.
Off the front of the cage.
Alexis in for the birdie. Very smooth putting stroke from her. And she had a good angle at the basket.
Holyn Handley in for birdie. That moves Holyn to 3 under par for the round. Smack the sand off.
Midtlyng in for par. And that just leaves us with Misy Gannon, who will tap in her par.
I got mistaken for Misy Gannon yesterday. First
You did?
time ever.
That's a new one.
That's what I said.
I feel like you don't.
I said,
you
excuse
don't
me,
look
sir.
like anybody else.
Missy's got blonde hair and I got red hair, and she's from New York and I'm from Tennessee. Let's check out hole 7, the bamboo hole, par 3, 284 feet. The bamboo opening door does play as a triple mando. If you're brave enough and you have the accuracy, try to go through it and park the shot. Otherwise, you can do a nice little hyzer shot and land short of it, or a hyzer shot that barely sneaks through the gate and gives you a long birdie putt. Otherwise, if you pass over into the restricted area, you have to proceed to one of 2 drop spots. First up, Holyn.
Ooh,
And she's through the gate. She's parked it. It's a drop-in birdie for Holyn Handley.
beautiful. Love the speed control here with Holyn's disc. Just really comfortable with a mid. This is that hyzering through, like Holly mentioned. Wow. Alexis a little bit higher, but what a pretty shot. It's a very iconic hole here at Winthrop. I noticed after the rounds every day there would be people out here trying to make this shot.
Misy Gannon a little short. She's given herself a 60-foot putt for birdie.
If you're not going through though, that's like the best spot to be. Ooh, hit the wall. Oh, dang. I was hoping with the speed she can put on the disc that it would hit the wall before it faded out. But Eliezra did miss the Mando, so she will be going from one of the drop spots.
Misy Gannon staring down a 60-foot putt for birdie. Just a little on the right side.
This is one of the areas of the course that the spectators tend to gather. Great putt from Alexis for birdie. It's right near Tournament Central, and the road pretty much wraps around this hole entirely, so there's plenty of spaces for people to stand. Misy is in for par. Holyn drops in a birdie, and Eliezra will take a bogey here on the 7th. That area of the course is fun to hang out. Hole 8, par 5, 697 feet. Off the tee, you can push something straight through the trees, or you can play a wide hyzer that goes actually over the hazard and then crash lands back inside. You do have OB along the left side here, so for your second shot, you want to try and keep it low. If you can get anywhere into the wood chips, you're in good position. As long as you're below the height of the fence on the left, you're going to land safe here. And a lot of people, that'll leave them with a short forehand approach and maybe a putt for birdie.
First up, Holyn Handley after 2 birdies in a row.
Leaking to the right side. Honestly, it was even hard to tell.
Alexis taking my preferred route. Little hyzer to that right corner. Hopefully getting around that final tree in the middle.
Misy also going with the hyzer, but she's going a lot more to the left side. She's going to be safe, but it might be a tight angle for her second shot. Or just perfectly straight.
Midtlyng with a bit of a misfire. Hits a tree, only makes it about 120 off the tee. Still parable from there with a distance like hers.
So many spectators out. Perfect day for it. And this chase card is playing well. And Eliezra's second shot will line her up with the tunnel. It seems like she's kind of either pulling things to the right or putting a lot more Annie on her shots. Holyn with a forehand. Absolutely beautiful. Catches the edge of the hill, and she'll be on the high side with her approach toward the basket. You don't see as many players up on the hill as you do down at the bottom.
Misy Gannon looking to get over the out-of-bounds area. And she has done that, and she is safe up against the fence line on the left.
Alexis with a forehand for her second shot. Crash lands into the side of the hill, and she rolls up against the fence but is safe. Midtlyng lining up a forehand shot. She'll be near the top of the hill as well. Just seeing players not really push enough distance on that shot.
Alexis back to the zone.
The same zone that she threw in, 2 days ago?
Exactly.
Almost does it again. When in doubt, throw that zone. Misy having to stretch out and flex a forehand for her approach. Just catches that last bush, but she should have a putt.
Yeah, still a putt from there. Well, this is a unique lie I haven't seen. Great upshot from Midtlyng. Pinched up against the fence.
Holyn won't be as pinched as she was, so I do predict her throwing a low forehand line to get a little skip toward the basket. She pushes it just past, and she'll be in the bush, hopefully with enough room for her body to make a putt, because I've seen people in there who you're 15 feet from the basket and you don't have anything.
Oh, no. Oh, that's Alexis.
Oh, so her zone rolled in there, too.
Alexis from under the bush. And she's right there, but look, she just almost has nothing. From, what is that, 10 feet? Oh, I hate that for her. Oh, man.
That sucks.
That just stinks big time.
So even though she was 12 feet from the basket, she'll have to settle for a par. Holyn, luckily enough, was over on the side there. And that is a par for her as well. She must have been in the hazard.
Misy in for par. I just can't believe how close Alexis was, and you just can't get a putt from right. She was right there.
I know, and I've seen so many people do that.
Welcome back, hole 9, par 4, 362 feet. If you've got the distance, you can go for the eagle straight to the green. Otherwise, the majority of the players are going to play for the safe birdie. Just pitch something out anywhere in the field on the right, and then you've got a sub 300-foot shot, which should be just a stock hyzer for any of us to get into the green with a putt for a birdie 3. We do have the artificial Christmas trees this year, which no one seemed to decorate. I was a little disappointed about that.
Yeah, last year they had like spider webs and stuff in them. Since we're getting close to Halloween. Holyn is going for it over the OB. We know she's got the distance.
Holyn Handley up there on the green putting for eagle.
Alexis lining up the safe route for the birdie play. Good shot. Gets herself close enough to the OB. Misy also lining up the safe play. A little more height. She'll be in good position. You almost want to aim for the drop zone on this first shot.
The drop zone is a good visual. Midtlyng going for the eagle.
We actually saw her overthrow this on the first day, I think it was.
CTP.
A great shot for Midtlyng. So she and Handley will be putting for eagle.
Alexis forehand zone. She's putting for birdie from 8 feet.
No tree in her way this time.
Yes.
Misy going with the backhand approach.
Ooh,
even
the
closer.
bricks.
This is one of those holes where it's like, why not just get the birdie? Guarantee yourself. So this is Holyn Handley putting for eagle.
It's in.
With that eagle, Holyn Handley is only one stroke behind the current tournament leader, Eveliina Salonen. That's got to feel good.
Holyn at 6 under par for the round. And Midtlyng with an eagle. That moves her to 1 under for the day. Did you go for
I
this
did
in your qualifying?
I did not. I went out to the right side. Misy and Alexis both in for birdie. Yeah, besides like last year, I did not actually get any practice rounds in before I played the qualifier. So I went for the birdie.
So the qualifier was the practice.
Yeah, exactly.
And with that, every player under par so far for the day. Let's take a look at the leaderboard.
Holyn gaining strokes here with a very clean front 9. She is behind Eveliina by 1 stroke, and she just seems on today, so it should be exciting on the back 9. We have got Kristen and Ella still in the chase, only 2 back from the lead. Thank you guys so much for watching. If If you haven't gotten a chance to watch the first 3 rounds, do get caught up before the finale. And if you'd like to support me, Raven Klein, you can find my tour series Convicts on the Dynamic Disc website.
You can go to pharmacbd.com and use code HOLLY to get 20% off all pharma products, or if you prefer to get a disc, Innova is selling a Star Color Glow It, a Speed 7 Fairway. You can pick those up from directly Innova's website or your favorite online disc golf retailer. We will see you for the back 9. Back 9 action.